Greetings and salutations, friends, and my name is yugituber74162893, and welcome to a Salamangreat deck profile, something that you will have never, ever seen before. Seriously though, Meta Mondays will be coming back. We're just settling into a new meta. I've just started a new job, and I'm trying to get the balance right, but the algorithm demands an upload, so here is the Salad deck that I've been playing about with and testing. It's actually a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying it, which I didn't want to because it's Salamangreats, but you know, it's fun. It's a nice wee deck that can actually do a surprising amount. So let's start with
Hey you, subscribe and like the video, leave a comment. Cheers, pal.
believe it or not, the Salamangreats. So we're running 2 Jack Jaguar, 2 Spinnies, 2 Foxies, and yes, I am rarity mixing. Fight me. And then we have 1 Fowl, 1 Falco, 1 Mole, and of course, 1 Gazelle. Now all of these have their purpose. I'm going to do a more in-depth video on this deck because I am actually really enjoying it, where I'll go over sort of combos and test hands and stuff, but at the moment, you're just getting a deck profile. Fucking deal with it, alright? So, that's the Salad monsters that we're running. And then, for the spells on the Salad side, we of course have the 1 Circle, the 1 Sanctuary, and the 1 Will of the Salamangreat. Now, Will could probably go up to 2, but I think 1's fine. Sanctuary at 1 is also fine. Losing it hurts a little bit, but this deck has a lot of ways to play around not having Sanctuary. So I don't think it's too bad just having the 1. Then we have the 2 Salamangreat Roars, which is just an Omni Negate, which is lovely, and the Salamangreat Rages to pop shit. That's it for the Salad cards. The deck is 42 cards, which annoys me, but that's fine. I'm just not sure what to cut. It's been working quite well in testing, so aye. For our non-Salad Cyburst monsters, we have 3 Lady Debug, which is just a great starter. It gets you to Gazelle. That's basically all you need. We've then got 2 Flame Buffaloes, which lets us draw 2. We've got plenty of grave effects, so like having to discard, say, like a Spinny or a Jack Jaguar from hand doesn't really hurt us, and then we get to draw 2 extra cards. So another great starter in Flame Buffalo. We have the, of course, the 3 Parallel Exceeds. It's just an incredible extender that lets us go into more links, even into some rank 4s, which we've got a couple in there. And then we have 2 Microcoders. So Microcoder can be used from hand as a link material to go into a Code Talker monster. This can set up OTKs with Transcode Talker. It can just help us extend on turn 1 going into Code Talker Inverted. And when it's used from hand, I think or field, I don't know. You never really want to use it from field, so it doesn't really matter. But when it's used for a link summon of a Code Talker monster, you get to search out a Signet, spell, or trap. And this is the main target for it. So you can search out, what's it called? You can search out Signet Mining, but because we're running Signet Mining at 3, most of the time, either you'll have already used it, or you've got enough extension in your hand that you don't really need it. Signet Conflict, which is an extra Omni Negate as long as you control a Code Talker monster, which is pretty nice, and it banishes as well. Negates the activation, banishes that card, and your opponent cannot activate cards or effects of cards with the same name during that turn. Until the end of the next turn even. Fuck man, I should read my cards. We've then got our little hand traps of choice. We of course, let's shift this wee package out of the way. We're running 3 Ash Blossom, because it's still just like one of the best hand traps in the game. And we're running the 3 Gamma and the Perrenial Brick that you will always draw no matter what, because fuck you, that's why. Driver. Then we're just going on to some little extra spells here. We've got the Monster Reborn for extension, 3 Signet Mining for searching, just a nice consistency boost, and then 3 times Pot of Desires and breaking my own rules and running 3 pots, because people shouted at me for running 2. I'm still not 100% sold on 3 times Pot of Desires, but fuck it, why not? Actually, it's kind of nice, because even even if you draw into the second desires off of desires, it's either, say, like a discard for Signet Mining, it's something to set so that it's a little bluff. I mean, it's still not the best feeling in the world, but it works. It works. So that's the main deck. As I said, 42 cards, which I don't think is too much of an issue. There's enough searching and sending in the deck for it not to really matter. Let's just put that beautiful little fucking Hitler pot up there. And onto the extra deck. Okay, so here, of course, we're running the 3 Balinks. Gets us to that Sanctuary. And protects from Grave, so always nice. We've got 2 Sunlight Wolf, because I don't think you really need 3. It lets us recycle things like Ash from the Grave, which is always nice. It lets us bring back a spell or a trap. So if you can get to Sunlight Wolf with a Roar in the Grave, and then with Sanctuary on field and go into the second Sunlight Wolf, you can bring back that Roar, not having to use its Grave effect, which means it won't be banished, and then set it, which is nice. 2 Heat Leo. I don't find myself going into this that much. It is nice going second, or, you know, later on in the game. Turn 1 is useless, but I mean, it's there. I do need to do more testing and figure out whether I want to run the 2. I could cut it to 1, but I don't know, it's a nice way to get over certain things at 2. Some extenders and Splash Mage, which lets us special summon a Cyberse from Grave, and a Code Talker Inverted, which lets us special summon a Cyberse from hand. And then we have the little OTK package of Update Jammer and Transcode Talker, and then we just have some general good stuff. So we have an Apollousa. So, like, turn 1, you can quite frequently get out a Sunlight Wolf with a set Roar and a 3 material Apollousa. So you have an Omni Negate and 3 Monster Negates, which, you know, it's pretty solid. And that's not counting whatever's left in your hand. And we have 1 Boreal Sword Dragon as an OTKer, but I think generally going through the transcode plays is better to OTK. So Boreal Sword's kind of just sitting there at the moment, and I'm not 100%. I think this would actually be better suited to be in Evermax, just as having a big booty that's really difficult to get rid of. And then, speaking of the rank 4s that we can go into with Parallel Exceed and some of the salads, we have an Abyss Dweller, which I think is going to be pretty decent in the upcoming format, and a Baguska's how I feel. Baguska, the Terribly Tired Tapir. That's right, I'm a Terribly Tired Tapir. When are we going to get the Lost Art version of this, where we get him just fucking steaming and passed out? But aye, so Baguska's great, going second. Against certain decks, obviously it doesn't affect Link monsters, but that's the extra deck. Sorry for the fucking rambliness of this. I'm pretty tired, man. I don't know why. I had a good sleep, good enough sleep, but I'm still tired. There we go. So onto the side deck, we have 3 Artifact Lancia, because I think it's still going to be great in this coming format. A lot of decks banish, and it's a nice card to have. We then have 2 Skullmeister and 3 Ghost Spells, because graveyard effects are common, just in general. So I think having some way to affect the grave is good. Why am I so bad at life? And then we have 2 Doggeran. I would probably rather these were Gamma Seals. These are just to get over things like Dragoon and Avermax. You know, the sort of boss monsters that the deck kind of struggles with. I don't think I want 3. I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out the side deck. Like I said, the meta's still evolving, and it's in a weird place at the moment. But I think Dragoon's always going to be relevant until it's banned, and things like Avermax are just, they're a pain in the arse that rogue decks can make quite easily. So I think having 2 in here is just nice as a little safety. We then have 2 Goes in Match, which just can hose a ton of decks. So you can only control 1 attribute, since all the salads are fire. You're not really that bothered on turn 2. Like, you set your Goes in, you set up a little field, activate goes in match and just fuck over their plans it hurts a lot of decks way more than it hurts Salads, that's for sure. And then we have our back row hate and 1 Harpy's Feather Duster and 2 Cosmic Cyclone. So that's the deck. It's pretty budget. I'll try to do a wee price. Like, it's difficult to price because it depends. If you can pick up the Soulburner structure deck at like RRP, it's super fucking cheap because that gets you all your Salads. It gets you like the Goes in Matches, the Doggerans, the Ash Blossoms, which is a big one. So if you can find it, I'd recommend picking up 3. It's a lot of fun. So that's the deck. I will have some locals content coming soon, starting with a truly fucking awful week for me, with going 1-5 and my 1 win being a bye. Yeah, that's why I've been grumpy about the game a little bit. But it's fine. I want to be trying this deck out at locals. I've kind of stepped away from Shadows for the moment. 1, I don't think I'm particularly good with them. And I think this is a lot easier to pilot well. I'm a bit of a 4-head, to be honest with you. I've not got those 5-head plays. You know, you build the Shadol deck, you test with it, you play a ton, and then you realise that you're not pack. And that's okay. So, I'm going to be trying out Salads at locals. I've also got Witchcrafters there, which I've not sorted a build for, but I've got all the pieces. So, I want to be figuring that out as well, because it seems like fun. But aye, locals content coming soon. I couldn't play yesterday because I was working, and I can't play this week because I'm working. So I want to try and like wait until I've at least got a little bit of stability and consistency, and when I can actually play at locals. Cards. Bye.